Hi, I'm Becky from BVB Equestrian. Some of you know me on a one-to-one basis through my coaching. Some of you will have met me at one of my regular training clinics throughout Sussex and Surrey, and many of you follow me on social media, and I hope that you're enjoying the training tips and the information that I share. In this video I'd like to share something a bit different. Between the 2nd and the 8th of March this year it will be International Eating Disorders Awareness Week, and it's a cause that's particularly close to my heart because 3 years ago this March I was referred to a specialist eating disorder service. I was suffering with an OSFED, which is an otherwise specified eating disorder. It was diagnosed as atypical anorexia, and I'd successfully hidden this from all of my friends and family for about 2 years because I didn't show any outward signs of being ill. My behaviours, looking back, were typical of somebody with an eating disorder, but unless you know what you're looking for, it's easy to misread them as just stress, tiredness. I was irritable, I had mood swings, I got very controlling and restrictive about food, but I managed to always make an excuse as to why. Going through an eating disorder as a sufferer and also professionally working in the equestrian industry, I realised not only how much misunderstanding there was about eating disorders in general, but also how many triggers there are within the equestrian industry. Eating disorders are exceedingly common and they're growing more so. They can take many forms. There are at least 9 specified eating disorders, and an eating disorder can be best thought of as disordered eating. So any scenario where an individual has an unhealthy relationship with food. There are approximately 1.25 million people in the UK currently suffering with an eating disorder, and there has been a 70% rise in both male and female sufferers admitted to hospital with an eating disorder over the last 6 years. Between 2010 and 2011 there were just over 7,000 admissions, and between 2018 and 2019 there were over 19,000 admitted to hospital. These individuals are severely ill, and hospital admissions, those figures for hospital admissions, they don't include those in outpatient services, they don't include those awaiting diagnosis, so the figures of people actually suffering are far, far higher. Like I said, through my professional involvement in the equestrian industry, I realised how many triggers there were for eating disorders. Particularly, there's a lot of peer pressure, bullying is rife, financial pressure, often working in very isolated environments away from your close friends and family unit. There's an exceedingly strong pressure to perform, constantly striving for perfection. There's a lot of severe psychological and physical stress put on individuals, and that's just to name a few. So hopefully it's easy to understand why I'm passionate about, one, raising awareness on eating disorders in general, but also particularly within the equestrian industry. When I was discharged in 2017, I embarked on a tour of 11 equestrian colleges, speaking to their students about eating disorders, what they were, how to spot the signs, how to help, and where to get help. In 2018, I spoke to 9 colleges and I gave 3 public lectures. I also spoke at all of the British Horse Society national conventions. This year, for International Eating Disorders Awareness Week, I have an even bigger target. I would like to fund specific training for people within the equestrian industry about eating disorders. BEAT, which is the UK's leading eating disorder charity, I have approached them and asked them to write a training day specific to the equestrian industry. This will be written by and presented by one of their clinicians. It will be applicable to everybody that's involved in the equestrian industry, from coaches to people involved with riding clubs, pony clubs, riding schools, arguably any sport. But this is specific for the equestrian industry. The commissioned work will cost £675 to be written, and it costs £2,500 to be presented by the clinician for a day. It's an interactive training day, it's very in-depth, and it will accommodate up to 25 delegates. I understand that in our industry we don't have a lot of money to go to training days, and so I want to raise enough money that I can subsidise delegates' fees to attend. Without a subsidy, it's £100 a head. I want to raise enough money that as a maximum, that it's £50 a head to attend. The more money I can raise, the more subsidies I can give, and also the more frequently or the more training days I can offer across the UK. So my target is in total £3,175, and this will allow me to fully cover the cost of having the programme written and having it presented once. In an ideal world, I would like to continue to raise funds to continue to subsidise the entries. You can donate via my GoFundMe campaign. There is a link on this video, and there will also be a link on my Facebook, and which you can find me on Becky VB Coach, and on my website, which is bvbequestrian.com. If you'd like to find any more information about eating disorders, please go check out Beat's website. It is full of information, and it's applicable to everybody, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a worried parent, a worried friend, or somebody that, as an individual, that you think that you might be suffering with an eating problem. And their helpline is incredible. They were a massive source of support for me and my family and carers when I was suffering. It's completely anonymous, so please go check it out. Their website, you can find them via Google, just type in Beat Eating Disorders, but other than that it's www.beateatingdisorders.org.uk, and please donate. Thank you very much.